Good morning on Thursday, September 15th. I can never keep track of this stuff.
Sure.
And welcome to another episode of the 359 podcast. Thanks for joining us this morning. Our hosts are Ben Fox Rubin and Alfred Eng. Good morning, guys.
Hey, thank you very much for that very nice and warm welcome. We've got a couple of things we're going to go over today. We're actually going to try to get through 4 stories in 4 minutes, discussing Amazon, Twitter and the NFL, Pandora, and Link NYC.
Oh, Link NYC is my favorite story of the day. You guys are going to be excited for this one.
Well, you have to stick around to the end to actually check out that one. So, well, it's only 4 minutes anyway, so not too much time. As always, send in your questions. We're going to get to them after the podcast, and we'll try to answer as many of them as possible. Obviously, we're happy to answer any questions that you have specific to technology, whatever, but it's always helpful to focus on the main subjects at hand. So, particularly with Amazon, we're going to be talking about their smart home efforts with the Echo Dot and the Echo smart home speaker. And then also be really interested to hear what some of you guys have to say about Twitter and the NFL. They have a big deal with that. So without further ado, let's get this thing rolling.
All right, audio to speed, and here we go in 3, 2.
Welcome to the 359, where we talk about the top tech news of the day, plus whatever crap we want to throw in. I'm Ben Fox Rubin.
I'm Alfred Eng.
Okay, so first up, it looks like Amazon is planning to take over the smart home with $50 pieces of electronics. It introduced a new Echo Dot that it came out with yesterday, and it also revealed last week plans to add its voice assistant Alexa to its $50 Fire tablet. So, Alfred, do you plan on buying these things in 6-packs, which they're both available in?
I actually was considering getting the 6-pack only so that that's Christmas shopping. That's done already. That's a Amazon Dot for all 5 of my friends, and then I can just keep one for free for myself. So
do you have like an Echo already?
I don't, when I really want one, and $50 to me is like the perfect price mark for that. So
I bought an Echo speaker during Prime Day, so it was like $130. I was waiting for it to go on sale. Usually it's like $180, and I was like, okay, great, whatever, no problem. And then when the Dot came out yesterday, I was like, man, all right, $50. I got $50 to throw at this thing. So I don't know. Maybe I'll put it in the living room. I don't know. I have to figure that out. But do you think that this is a smart move on Amazon's part to actually provide stuff this cheaply? I mean, are people going to hesitate and be like, $50? How good could it be for $50?
Well, yeah, I actually think $50 is the perfect price mark. I think it's not too expensive, and I don't think it's that cheap that people would be skeptical of it.
Mm-hmm. Plus, it's Amazon. I mean, they put their name on the product, so that does help too.
Yeah, and the return policy is amazing. So even if you hate it, which I doubt you will, I mean, it's a great product at that price. And if you hate it, you can just return it extremely easily onto the website. I also think that the Dot is probably a better product, considering that you can plug it into speakers that you already own.
That's
it's
true.
Very compatible.
That's true. Let's see if they take over the smart home with that thing. Next, Twitter is making a stab at relevance by live streaming NFL games. The first game will stream tonight with the help of a new Twitter app for streaming boxes. Alfred, do you think this is going to work? You think people are going to flood Twitter like they've always wanted?
I think Twitter is really banking on this only because, they're the platform for live sports as it is already. Everyone who wants
as a second screen.
Yeah, everyone who wants to talk about games is on Twitter talking about it. I don't know if they'll be watching it, though, is the thing on Twitter. Because you're right, it is a second screen experience. If anything, tonight is the Super Bowl for the Twitter.
Yeah.
I mean, even though it's, Jets against the Bills, who would never make a Super Bowl. Hey. I think this is a very important game for Twitter, and it's hard to see, where people will go on it.
So apparently Yahoo streamed a game last season, and it went horribly for them, and it was a very, very low viewership. So it's a low bar that was set there, and hopefully Twitter will be able to do better than that.
I think they definitely will, because people are on Twitter already. Like I said, it's a platform for, live news, sports. Football is huge on Twitter. It essentially just takes over that social network whenever a game is on. So
also, we wanted to get to Pandora today, unveiled Pandora Plus. It's a $5 monthly subscription plan that lets you do extra things like skip songs, replay tracks without any additional commercials. Is this something that you could get into?
Absolutely. For $5, it's half the price of both of the leading, leading products as it is, with Apple Music and Spotify. And, I think people have been spoiled when it comes to streaming music as it is, where it's, I have to listen to this ad. But, I mean, if you put on the radio at any point, it's ads everywhere.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to it.
Either way, we're out of time, but we want to talk about Link NYC anyway. Link NYC, New York's big, bold public Wi-Fi project, has this weird snag. Alfred, what is it?
This is, again, like I said, my favorite story of the day. So they have these tablets on it that, people used to be able to browse the internet on, and now Link NYC has taken that feature away because there's too many people watching porn on it.
Yes, a bunch of jerks have ruined it for everyone. I stole your line.
Which, to me, I that seemed inevitable. If there's internet, there will be porn. That's just
yes.
Go to
It's
any
like
public
gravity.
library.
I most certainly will not take that advice. All right, we're out of time. We're going to go to the post show. If you want to hear more about these stories or you want to read more about these stories, check us out on CNET. I'm Ben Fox Rubin.
I'm Alfred Eng.
Thanks for listening.
And delving into the comments, we have a really good one right up front with Alexa, and I haven't even considered this yet, but do they work in the car?
So Alexa, Amazon has started talking to Ford. So there is discussion about adding Alexa into the car. It makes a lot of sense to potentially include a voice assistant into the car because when you think about it, having a voice assistant out in the street or in a restaurant or, even in this, kind of small enclosure, you can really find how it would be really annoying really, really quickly to just start talking to your phone, but not actually talking to the people around you. However, semi-private situations like the home or the car make a lot of sense for voice assistants. So that is another place that you should expect to see Alexa in the coming days, in the future.
What if you set up like a personal hotspot and just drove around with a dot or something?
Well, right now
That sounds like a good idea. I'd like to see if that's possible.
There's a third-party product. I actually wrote about this one yesterday. It's called the Onyx, which is kind of like a Star Trek communicator, which you clip it onto your clothes or just anything on you, like a bag, and you press on it to talk to like your friends and family. But it's getting Alexa integration within the fourth quarter this year. So I mean, they released a promotional video about it yesterday, talking about how you'll be able to talk to Alexa from your car or just anywhere in general.
Right, but there will be further integration, particularly with Ford cars going forward. So I guess in the meantime, you could get the Onyx also. So you could walk around with Alexa all the time if you don't have a girlfriend.
I did see one of the saddest things in that promotional video, though, where the guy was like stuck in traffic and he plays rock, paper, scissors with Alexa.
Oh, God. No, that poor guy.
Never do that.
Or if you do, don't tell people afterwards.
Doesn't Roger use Alexa at home?
I do.
You
all
use
the time.
it. Okay.
Yeah.
Do you
I
have
ask her what the
issues with
weather
it?
is.
Michael in the chat says anytime he's seen it in action, it's janky. It needs to be really quiet or else it doesn't really understand you.
I have not had that experience.
No.
I yell at Alexa across the apartment and she can still hear me even when she's playing music. If she's playing music really loudly, then I do have to like go into the kitchen and actually tell her like, hey, turn it down or turn off or whatever. But I found Alexa and the Google Assistant on my smartphone to be way, way better than Apple Siri. Apple Siri I found to be super duper janky compared to Alexa.
Amazon Alexa, the annoying overpriced daughter you never wanted.
Is that a comment or you're just talking?
That's me. That Alexa, turn it down.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. But you will probably be hearing a lot more about Alexa in the future as Amazon tries to integrate it into like literally anything that it can get its hands on. So, and it's actually interesting with the Fire tablet. The idea would be that you're walking around with the tablet in your house and you're basically using it like a smart home hub or something like that. You would press the home button and say, turn on the lights or turn this thing off, turn that thing on, whatever, which is another way of utilizing Alexa, whether it's through the tablet or through a smart speaker.
Michael asks, with Google Voice AI and its large platforms, do you think any other personal assistants stand a chance once Google Home comes out?
It's an extremely good question. Obviously, we have to see Google Home. My primary concern with Google Home is that when they presented it to the market, they promised a whole lot. They had actually said that you'd be able to potentially on day one, as far as I could tell, have natural two-way conversation with the Google Home and the Google Assistant. That is extremely hard to do. And as far as I can tell, that's not really where we are with the technology, even with Google. So there is a possibility that they have set themselves up to overpromise coming out of the gate. But the commenter is right that Google Home presents a significant challenge for Amazon.
It'll be a beast.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's why Amazon came out with the Echo Dot at such a low price. They want to try to seed the market before the Google Home comes out, for sure. So, yeah, good question.
We've talked a lot about cord cutting on this show, like a lot. And I'm a strong proponent of it. So this whole NFL Twitter thing is a huge deal. Being a casual football fan from Buffalo, go Bills.
Mm-hmm.
They've made the Super Bowl. I just don't think the
They've
Jets
never won it.
Yeah, 3 years in a row.
I get it. I know. I'm not in denial. But this is cool. I'm kind of looking forward to this because I did watch the Yahoo stream last year, and it was, I think a lot of the failure was the timing thing.
Oh, like what time it actually played because they were playing in London?
So it was early on a weekend, like really early. So I got up and made a ton of breakfast and watched the game. And for what it's worth, like the stream worked fine. But in general, I've had a shady past with the Yahoo app, and I watched it on my Xbox. So
I will say this about Twitter. I don't know what the features of it are going to be for as far as the live stream goes. I don't know if it's just going to be a straight watch. But, I mean, if it wants to win this, it should give Twitter users, kind of a feature of they can make a live GIF of it or they can take a screenshot of it and then, like, as they're watching it.
Which is problematic for the NFL because they're so protective over their content.
Yeah. But it still gets out on Twitter either way. I mean, that's if they want to build this platform, they're going to have to be able to build it with social chatter.
That is what they're hoping to do.
Yeah.
Now that we're talking about it, I might end up watching this thing on Twitter tonight just because I'm curious to see how it would actually play out. And if it were an Eagles game, because I'm an Eagles fan, I usually using my smartphone as the second screen to, complain about any number of Eagles issues throughout the year.
You'll get to see Rex Ryan's glorious sweater vests.
Okay, I look forward to it. I mean, I'm not doing anything else anyway. Sure, I'll watch your NFL game, Twitter.
Oh, here's a thought. What about 360 or VR video for football?
Yeah, I think that's probably coming down the
pike. An inevitability.
Yeah, I mean, that makes perfect sense. And I think it's just, as you said, an inevitability that's probably going to happen. With Twitter being involved, I think maybe that makes it even more possible. So, we'll see what ends up happening with that.
So as far as actually streaming it on Twitter, exactly how does that work? Do you have to look for a specific tweet, or are you just basically going to Twitter and it's probably going to be publicized everywhere?
I think they have a URL that you can go to, but it's also, they have the app on several streaming boxes like the Amazon Fire TV, Xbox One. Help me out here.
I mean, I'm looking
some of the other ones.
I mean, it is on those platforms, but I mean, the majority of Twitter users are on mobile either way. So I'm looking forward to seeing what the mobile experience is going to be like. I don't know how you're planning on watching it, but I mean, it's usually a second screen experience, but now it being the first screen, I'm interested to see how that works. People on the train watching, people, instead of speaking with their friends and families at like a dinner or something, just watching it on their phones.
Yeah,
looking forward to it.
Chromecast.
Yeah,
it actually does not have Chromecast.
Not natively, but if you just brought it up on a browser, you could probably
that
I'm into.
I would probably watch it on TV as opposed to on my phone. Like if I have the option, it is football, so you are used to seeing it on a bigger screen. And
we've come so far with technology. We have everyone's got a giant TV. Giant TVs are affordable now. Picture quality is through the roof. We're right on the apex of 4K, and it's like, let's put football here.
Right.
And it's been like the driving force behind like home entertainment. The only reason people hang on to cable and they're like, screw it, right here.
Yeah.
Right here.
I'm sure people will watch it on mobile. As you said, I mean, like maybe you're not around a television or whatever. So to me, it could be interesting, too, is that if Twitter actually has any sort of success with this, it would be pretty cool to see more games because oftentimes the Eagles aren't playing in this market because they'll get bounced by a Jets or a Giants game. So if it is playing on Twitter, then there's an enormous reason for me to go to Twitter to actually see it because I wouldn't be able to get it otherwise. So maybe they have a chance with this one.
Alexander, you are my soulmate. Can Alexa order a pizza yet?
Yeah,
Yeah.
of course. Oh my God. That came like a couple months
That was
ago.
day one.
Yeah, you can order it with Domino's. I think you have to do like some initial setup because you can't really have a back and forth conversation that well with Alexa quite yet. It's not like, Alexa, order me a pizza. Okay, do you want a cheeser or a pepperoni? I think you have to preload like, this is the type of pizza that I'm getting.
From the place.
Yeah, it's specifically from Domino's. They're the only ones that they have like an app or feature. They call them skills specifically through Alexa. I haven't done it yet, so I don't know exactly how it works. But knowing how Alexa works, I don't think that there's a ton of optionality quite yet when you're talking to her directly. It's more do this.
She's not conversational yet.
No, not generally. I mean, like in small ways she can be. Like she has like small games that you can play where you can do a little bit more back and forth. But in general, there's still a ways to go to do more conversational stuff, which again, that's why it's interesting that Google presented the Google Home as something that can do much more natural conversation.
So one more time back to Twitter. What do you think the next logical step is going to be? What are the next live events we're going to see them start to showcase after football? Award shows?
Yeah.
Great conversation point right there. I mean, so pretty much think,
yes.
What's the water cooler thing? Let's put it on Twitter.
Awards shows makes a ton of sense because that's another one of those second screen experiences. People like jump on Twitter and say, oh, I can't believe this person won that award, or, you know, that was a long time coming, whatever. So I don't know what the rights are with those things, though. So it might be very difficult for them to snag awards shows.
Yeah, I would argue that most likely presidential speeches and just political events, political Twitter is a very big presence. Mm-hmm. And just the idea that, you know, and the advantage of that is essentially they're free. You don't, you know, there's no copyright to it. You can, you know, White House briefing or anything like that. You can just, if you set up a camera, if you set up into the feed, you can kind of just be able to stream that. I mean, they kind of did that with a few debates before.
Oh, they did?
Yeah.
Oh, I totally missed those.
I do. Like I said before, though, I do think the key, though, is not just offering a stream, but, you know, offering social integration with it where, you know, I can take a screenshot or I can take a video clip from a specific moment, which they do already with Snappy TV, but that's a service provided to most media companies and not the average Twitter user. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, if anything, I think that's the key route to go.
Yeah, I think what's also interesting is that they very directly decided not to do scripted because they're more interested in live stuff as opposed to like scripted sitcoms or whatever, stuff that you could probably use a DVR for. So I think they know what their place is in the market, or at least they're trying to figure that out. And it's more what's the present as opposed to something that I could get to sometime later. Like you're not going to be watching old Family Guy episodes on Twitter anytime soon.
No. But I mean, like Facebook has Facebook Live. We're on YouTube right now. We use live stream. Twitter's finally kind of late to the game, but that's a big get for them. Yeah. And I'm just imagining this right now as the guy who reads your comments. Polita-Twitter, yikes.
Yeah.
Asking for a fight.
Yeah. Yeah, but like, you know, they want engagement, even if it's ugly. I mean, like, they've proven that more times than most other social mediums. So the problem for them is that a lot of these rights are expensive, and is it really going to help them become more relevant? I mean, they grow so much slower than Facebook, and so it's possible that this is just a way for them to like sink a lot of money into this experiment, and it doesn't actually work. I mean, like Twitter is not doing well, so it's important to pay close attention to that.
And who's next in line after Twitter? Apple?
What, as far as like live streaming events and stuff like that? Apple's been looking into television for a long time. There are rumors around that a lot. Amazon is another one that's being considered. So I think all these guys are looking at it as a way to, you know, build their audiences.
I'm going to go with Twitch TV on this one. I know they've got live stuff already, but the thing is, most of it is esports. They experimented with, you know, more news kind of content before. They did it with the Republican National Convention and the Democratic National Convention, and they did pretty decently on that. So, I mean, if they get into, you know, actual sports, I think it'd be a good play because they have the audience.
Yeah.
Pun intended.
Yeah, for sure.
that's probably a good place to leave it off. We got to go get back to work.
Yeah, let's call it.
All
right. If you liked what you saw or heard, check us out on CNET.com. Podcast is also on iTunes, Google Play, FeedBurner, SoundCloud, and TuneIn Radio. All right. We'll be back on Monday. So thanks very much for watching.